Hey, how's it going? This is the couch Kumara. Sorry, this is the only picture I could find. There's no picture of a Kumara. I probably have to make my own thumbnail with a Kumara. Yeah, married sweet potato. I think they used to have it in South America, the Mayans or Aztecs. Yeah, and that's probably where it originated from. Yeah, so this be the couch Kumara. Bringing you all things religion and exposing it for its hype, fluff, and BS, right? Because I've tricked you, duped you, fooled you, suckered you, you know. Yeah, so I'm exposing all the lies, all the hype and the fluff and the BS. Okay, so today I was looking at our local newspaper, Central Leader, here in New Zealand, right, and I found this article on Galileo and the science deniers. Okay, before we get to this article, and I think it's been out for a while, it may seem it's 2020, never knew about it, right? This guy here, Tony Darnell, covers it. Okay, here's a picture of the book up here, right? Okay, we'll make it a bit bigger so you can see the thing. Okay, here we go. There's the guilty party that wrote it, Mario Livio, and this guy interviews another guy about that, right? And this guy reckons he's read all his books and all that sort of stuff. Okay, it's not promoting the health and well-being centre, but yeah, I'd be into promoting health and well-being. Yeah, because I was always told, without your health, where will you be? You know, protect your health and so forth, so forth. Anyway, so this article here in the is it neighbourly.co.nz? I don't know what that is. July 16th, 2020, Central Leader. We always seem to get the news late, or someone's making us aware of it. And it's out there. You'll probably buy it on Amazon or something. Galileo and the Science Deniers by Mario Livio, Simon and Schuster, publishers, $30. Okay, probably that's how much it is here. Reviewed by David Aronovich. Okay, yeah, because it's got some interesting history in regards to the Roman Catholic Church and how nasty they could be. Okay, it's the church, it's not so much the people. Yeah, so don't go there. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, on June 22, 1633, Europe's most illustrious scientist, 69-year-old Galileo Galilei, got down on his elderly knees on the floor of a Roman convent and before the Holy Inquisition, read out the lie that had been written for him. The things that he had argued to his infamous, to the church, Dialago, let's change that to Diablo, no, just joking, that earth revolved around the sun, not the other way around. He now repudiated, okay, he renounced it, right, said it was all crap, basically, that he was wrong. He swore that he had always believed now, and with God's help, would believe in the future, all that the Holy Apostolic Church, it's the Roman Catholic Church, held, preached, and taught. With a sincere heart and unfeigned faith, he perjured himself. Yeah. I abjure, curse, and detest the above mentioned errors and heresies, and in general each and every other error, heresy, and sect contrary to the Holy Church. He wouldn't do it again, he promised, and if he came across anyone else who did, he undertook to denounce them. Okay, he'd knock on them as well, I suppose. I don't know if he'd do that, but he just denounced them here. And with that, he was taken away to begin a period of house arrest, but managing to escape, as others had not, torture or being burnt alive. Possibly, apocryphally, Galileo is said to have uttered the defiant words, "E per si muove," and yet it moves on leaving the court. To Mario Livio, an author and astrophysicist, who worked for 24 years with that great descent of Galileo's first telescopes, the Hubble Space Telescope. The story of the great man's discomfiture has modern parallels. Today the phrase "and yet it moves" has become a symbol of intellectual defiance, implying that in spite of what you believe, these are the facts. He writes, "Unfortunately, in an era of alternative facts, there appear to be more and more occasions where the use of the phrase is appropriate." The book was written before the COVID pandemic hit the US and Donald Trump embarked on his anti-scientific speculations about the virus and various imaginary cures. Yeah, he suggested everybody inject themselves with disinfectant. That might get rid of it. Okay. As it is, several times in the course of this admirably clear and concise account of the Galileo affair, Livio refers back to what he sees as the false battle between those who accept the scientific consensus about the evidence for man-made global warming and those who resolutely deny it. To him, the former are the Galileos of today, the latter are the faith-based descendants of the Inquisitors, people who obstinately see only what their faith allows them to see. Okay. Before he came to Rome for the trial, Galileo had a record of scientific achievement that earned him an extraordinary international reputation. He had established Aristotle's error in believing that a lighter object fell more slowly than a heavier one. His pioneering use of the telescope had allowed him to be the first person to observe that Jupiter has moons, that the lunar surface is pitted, not smooth, and that Earth reflects light onto the moon. He was a brilliant pioneer, and it might be expected that in the matter of planetary motion, his observations would be regarded by others, if not definitive, at least worthy of the utmost respect. That the Church, under the leadership of Pope Urban VIII, should choose to make the science of astronomy an issue not of evidence, but of religious doctrine, seems baffling now. It was surely apparent even then that in time, and not much time, given the rate of scientific advancement, the question would be settled by facts, in which case an obdurate attempt by the religious authorities to maintain a clearly outdated opinion of the material world would bring them into disrepute. So in addition to the main lesson that Livio seeks to derive from the affair, there is a question of why people and institutions persist in error. What is it that makes them so resistant to change? I think it might be like they got to control people. It's a form of manipulation, right? You know, put a hold on this and that to control the people. Don't let them think. You know, that's the worst thing you could do. You know, in their eyes, it's to think. This question becomes even more poignant when you consider that what happened long after Galileo's death. In a fascinating chapter towards the end of the book, Livio recounts the saga of Pio Pasquini. In 1941, Monsignor Pasquini, rector of the Pontifical Lateran University in Rome, was asked by Agostino Gemelli, president of the Pontifical Academy of Sciences, to write a book about the Galileo affair based on a historical and scholarly study of the documents. What Gemelli, a Franciscan friar, was looking for, he said, rather incredibly, was an effective demonstration that the Church did not persecute Galileo but helped him considerably in his studies. Through the war, as Mussolini and Benito Mussolini, Il Duce, right? Mussolini first waxed, then waned, and as the Germans invaded Italy and were then pushed back by the Allies. Yeah, because he was a fascist, right? He was really into fascism. Hitler noticed it, liked it apparently, you know, and did it one better than him, right? And every battle that Hitler had, everyone he attacked, he won, you know. key strategical points and all that sort of stuff. Whereas the Duce tried to duplicate Hitler, and he kept losing all the time. Right? His army wasn't strong enough and all that sort of stuff. Whatever the historians say, right? Yes, he kept getting his ass booted. Then he ended up upside down with his poor family. Who cares about him? His wife and children or something like that. That was pretty sad. They strung him up. Okay, Pasquini laboured at this work. He finally delivered his manuscript in January 1945, but he had clearly not fulfilled his brief in Gemelli's eyes, and the work was rejected. Pasquini died in 1962 with his work unpublished. But reform was in the air in 1964. The work, as revised by a respected Jesuit scholar, was finally made available by the Pontifical Academy. Everyone assumed that what was published was, with minor revision, what Pasquini wrote. It wasn't until 1978 that someone actually compared Pasquini's manuscript with the book and discovered just how much revision had gone on. For example, a passage where Pasquini castigated the defenders of an outdated school, who saw the sceptre of science slipping from their hands and could not bear that the oracles coming from out of their lips should no longer be religiously listened to, and so they used all means and intrigues to regain for their teaching the credit it was losing. Was rewritten as arguing that Galileo's views had required recombination of the familiar images that were connected to the representation of the universe in the mind of the scientist, as well as in that of the man on the street. In other words, the Church's problem had been managing the pace of change, and this 330 years after Galileo's trial. But just as much as being a question of scientific truth, this is also a story of suppressing opinion. Perhaps even more so, the Copernican view of the solar system was not tried in Rome in 1633, but merely whether Galileo was guilty of advocating it. His show trial, like its equivalents in Moscow or Prague, Beijing or Berlin, or even Tudor London, was about the exercise of brute power over inconvenient opinion. It was never about the truth. The Times London, that's the source, right? Yeah, so basically that Roman Catholic Church, they were all powerful, whatever, and he was part of it, right, under their boot heel, and because he wrote something it was deemed heresy, it was against the Roman Catholic and the scriptures, whatever, So they basically says, if you put that out there, right, then you're a heretic, you're going against the church, and all this will happen to you, right? Probably get burnt at the stake, whatever. So renounce it, So under pressure, that's what he did, okay? But he managed to escape, torture and all that. I don't know if he managed to escape house arrest, but that's what this church does to you, right? This organised religion. So just to get out of it, get out from it. What does it say in Revelations or something like that? Get out of here, my children, unless you're sharing her plagues or her wrath to come. Get out of there. Okay, it's not a finger pointing at Roman Catholics. You believe what you want to believe. That's your free will. That's your choice, right? Okay, it's just if you care about people and you know the truth, then you'll tell them. You warn them, and those who got a brain wake up to it, like many have over the years, over the centuries. Then you'll get out of it, right? And you'll learn to think for yourself. Do your thing, work it out for yourself, do your own research and homework, right? And find your own truth, your real truth, Okay, so let's have a look at this video.
I had him on Hangout, gosh, I guess it was like 3 years ago now. when he came out with his book Brilliant Blunders. Well, he's recently written another one called Galileo and the Science Deniers. And let me go ahead and bring up Brian so he can introduce himself and what we're going to talk about this week. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
Great, Tony. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to all these. I mean, everyone gets to see how shaggy I'm getting after
you need to
3
do what
months
I
without a
did.
haircut.
You need to do what I did. Get one of these coronavirus cuts, man.
Oh, yeah.
See, I got the trim.
That's nice.
Get a Franciscan
You've
cut.
got excellent
Bald in the middle.
uniformity and isotropy.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yes, it's the same. Just like the expansion.
Get the
of
fry
universe.
cut.
It's not growing
That's right. Not inflating like my stomach.
Yes. Good example. All right, so tell us what we're going to talk about this week.
Today we're going to talk about a mutual friend, Mario Livio, who's not only one of the most celebrated astronomers and popularizers of science, but he's also Italian and a scholar, and he has a new book out, a wonderful new book. I've read all of his books.
He makes the great meatballs.
Galileo and the Science Deniers is out now, and I had the honor to speak to him last Friday and the weekend before his book was coming out, and kind of got the inside scoop on a bunch of topics that I was always fascinated to learn about. You know, you've read my book, Losing the Nobel Prize, and I have much to say about Galileo as a hero, but also as a human. And I think one of the most interesting parts of our discussion with Mario and me was about Galileo as a father, as a ordinary person, as a subject, as a religious believer, and someone grappling, with these twin kind of desires to understand the mind of God, and also to understand the works of nature and how that was done for the first time. And Mario is, as I said, Italian. He's an astronomer, and this is the first biography ever written of Galileo by an astronomer. So it has insights that our mutual audience, will find unique for the first time.
Yeah, well, we have a couple of clips that we can show for the interview itself, and you just tell me when you want me to play them. But I want to let people watching this know I put a link to the full interview in the description box of my video. And if you have not subscribed to Brian's channel yet, you need to do that. And the link to that is also in the description box.
Subscribe to this guy's one as well.
You get notified every time
if you like it.
He's doing it. But when we're done here, we're going to talk about. He has to leave exactly in about 27 minutes. So because he's about to do another interview, which will give you a preview of before he leaves. So, all right. So, shall we just start with one of the clips, or do you want to give some more? Because I have some questions about Galileo in particular, and what's in the book.
Yeah, let's check out one of the clips. But the thing that I focused on primarily with Mario was trying to be a little bit gently as a friend, but a little slightly adversarial, and asking the questions, that I was hoping would provoke him into answering for the first time. Rather than saying you're so brilliant, which I think he is, but instead of just talking about that, why not say challenge him a little bit? So that was kind of my my attempt here to really get him to open up about how bad is it really. I mean, this word denier has awful connotations, ranging from Holocaust denier to other denying other sort of facts in history. So I wanted to kind of talk about that. First, get a sense of why he named the book what he did. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and roll that, and then you can ask a question, and then love answering questions from the audience.
All right, so this will be the one that's called Mario Book Trailer? The book trailer?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're...
Okay, for all those out there who know, in the ancient Aramaic, Galilean Aramaic, right, New Testament, it's got, actually in the Old Testament, the Assyrian Aramaic, or Asherit, Kitab Asherit, it translates the word Holocaust as sacrifice. So that's basically what it was. En masse. Okay. Well, you got to go out there and you got to prove it. That if it was a ritual one, intended and to invoke Satan or blah blah blah, whatever, But that's basically what the word translates as from the Assyrian Aramaic or Asherit. Possibly the Hebrew. I'm not sure on that one. And the Syriac. Yeah. So that's what it was. It was a sacrifice. Okay. In the Old Testament scriptures, that's what it was in regarding to whatever happened there, right? Probably with the Jews. So could this modern day World War II, Holocaust actually be, similar to that in the Old Testament that happened to the Jews, but on a mass scale, a more massive scale. Okay, get back to this.
Both called that, but yeah, I think we'll see which one this one is first. Can you walk the audience through the choice of the cover design? We'll put up a picture of it, and even the title of the book. Let's start there.
Yeah. So, well, the title, you see, this is a biography of Galileo, but because Galileo had to deal with all kinds of science deniers, and because science denialism is, the way I see it, a big problem today, then this is what determined the title, Galileo and the Science Deniers. Namely, it's a biography of Galileo, but with an eye on science denial today. So that's about the title. Concerning the image on the cover, so I chose the very first portrait of Galileo when he was relatively young, probably in his 40s. It was done by an unknown Tuscan painter, but it's the very first portrait known of him. Usually people, are familiar with pictures of him by Sustermans when he was old. Even there is one attributed to Tintoretto when he was sort of middle-aged. This one is the earliest. So that's that.
Okay, I forgot what I was going to say. What about the science buff that says religion does not agree with science? Okay, it never has, it never will. Wrong, because if you look at the Assyrian Aramaic, right, or Asherit, Genesis Bereshit, translated by Victor N. Alexander, if you ever read it, or you ever, his website's down, been down for a while, right? He's disappeared, can't get hold of that guy through email or whatever, as far as I know. When he translated that Genesis or Bereshit from the Assyrian Aramaic or Asherit, he, to his shock surprise, found that it spoke of a pre-Adamic man or Neanderthal man, right? And I've been told it's bullcrap. How the hell can it be bullcrap if you've never seen the website or read it? Okay? Trust me on it, right? I've read his website. The theory of the Aborigine, he's not talking about the Australian Aborigine. It's a term used for pre-Adamic man or Neanderthal man, right? It's only a theory, his theory on it, but according to what he found when he translated Bereshit from the Asherit or the Assyrian Aramaic, right? Okay, so, once he translated it and realized this, that it agreed with the scientific discoveries and the archaeological discoveries, all that was unearthed, right, and discovered, or found and discovered. So he said it agrees with science. Unlike evolution, which keeps changing its mind, one minute you're a puddle and amoeba, a fish, blah blah blah, a whale 60 million years ago turned into a grizzly bear, all that sort of stuff, right? And that was denied from Darwin's book of The Origins of Species, apparently, way back in his time, right? They said it's preposterous, and he had to take it out of that book. Okay, he was under a lot of pressure. Okay, but then again, that depends on who you're reading that states that and all that. Go figure it out for yourself by doing your own research. Just don't come at me saying, "Oh, you're a liar, you're bullcrap," or whatever. You know what you're talking about. Okay, this is what I've read. People have their opinions. Okay, their views, their perspectives of what they've read. So it's not my words. It's whoever wrote this book. Okay, on the origins of species that I had a look at. Okay. People tend to come at you with, wielding machetes and axes, want to cut your head off because, of something else you found in the book. And they go and bother look at it for themselves, or they're a know-it-all, like they've read the Bible in 45 seconds or something, that entire thing, backwards, forwards, when they haven't. I guess some people might have, but in that amount of time, you probably get some things twisted, get it wrong, you come to your own assumptions, perspectives, opinions, whatever, right? formulate your own views, opinions. You know, you're totally wrong. Why? Because if you don't know the languages, right, the original languages that the scribes wrote in and spoke, all right, like the Old Testament prophets, who spoke the ancient Hebrew, and then the Assyrian Aramaic or Asherit, or Asheri, right? Kitab Asheret or Asheri, found in one of the Jew Talmuds. I don't know which one it is, okay, because I don't read the Talmud. Maybe I should later on. Yeah, and if you don't know the idioms used in the Assyrian Aramaic or Asheret or Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, or Koine Greek, right? Because they all have idioms apparently. If you don't understand them, right, then you don't know the Bible as well as you think you do, or you claim you do, right? This is coming from Dr. James D. Francisco as well, because I got the quote from that guy, you know, and I thought, well, yeah, that's right, because the Aramaic New Testament by Victor N. Alexander has a lot of footnotes and literal Aramaic idioms or expressions, right? Apparently, their expressions, when they're translated into English, they seem, you know, wacky and hard to understand, or we get the wrong idea, think we understand it when we actually don't. Okay. Yeah, if you don't know the idioms, you don't understand them, right? You don't know the Bible as well as you think you do, or you claim you do, or you boast you do, right? Which is fact. Okay. What did Galileo say here? E pur. Did he say e pur? Si muove. I don't know how you say that in Italian or Latin. E pur si muove. Move. Yeah, probably what it is. E pur si muove. And yet it moves. Okay. The fact is a fact, implying that in spite of what you believe, these are the facts. Okay, so I'm not going to go into this. It's 1 hour 14:31, right? Go and look at it yourself. Don't forget to, if you like this, subscribe to my channel, and leave us your comments if you loved it or you totally hated it, and we'll get back to you one day. Okay, don't forget to subscribe to this guy, Dr. Brian Keating. Okay, it's not a paid promotion or anything like that. It's just happened to come across it in relation to this book and a news article that I found. Okay, so have a nice day. Have a gay old day. Nah, just joking there. Gay just means happy, doesn't it? Have a merry old day. Ho ho ho. Yeah, and don't believe the hype, boy. You know, all that sort of stuff. Yeah, and we'll see you when we see you. Don't forget to subscribe, or else I'll get the Vatican on you.